You're about to see a comparison video of our FM7 unbeatable AI and comparing it to the fastest AI that we have in the current game. I think this should really give you a sense of just how much the AI has improved. We're going to show how the single point of contact at 60 hertz used to work, and we'll be looking at a variety of video that kind of shows that. And the tires will be invisible, and you can kind of see the collision for the tires, and then you'll see how it responds to different things like curbs and different geometry changes in the track. And then we'll compare that to the new model, and I think you'll see a major difference there. Right there, you get these real spikes in how the tire is moving up and down. It's really just not smooth. It's not recognizing some of these smaller collision changes over the curb. It's very, very spiky and violent. So this is the same car, the Bach Mono, same corner on Laguna Seca, but it's got the new tire model. It's got the 8 points of contact. It's also got the 360 hertz refresh rate. And generally speaking here, you can see all of the different details, all of these different points seeking out the different collision changes, the changes in all the geometry here, how the tires are going over the sawtooth curbs here much more smoothly.
Your series awards for 80 points is the Ford Liberty Mustang, and your 160 point reward is the Dodge Super Bee. Super cute.
Just such a muscly car called Super Bee.
I love it. I love the juxtaposition.
The Toyota GR86, one of our most requested cars. It's currently 8th on the suggestion hub. I'm going to call it 6th because we've added 2 of the cars ahead of it.
We decorated the street scene festival side with a lot of props that basically make you feel like you are on the beach.
And we saw that a little bit actually when Chris was driving just then. There was the palm trees along the road, so I'm assuming that's got something to do with it.
Yeah, it's not a bug. It's meant to be there. It's meant to just make you want to drive all the way towards the street festival side.
And I want you to tell me what's really cool about the Camaro Exorcist, please, apart from the name of it.
So Hennessy kind of started out doing tuning back in the day, building like upgrades for cars, eventually moving on to like packages, and then moving on to making things like the Exorcist, and eventually things like the Venoms.
So this adds into the space theme, and I suppose at this point you might go, yeah, this is kind of spacey, I guess, Charlie, but why is it called that? And then I suppose we can maybe pull the camera out a little bit and go, boom! Space shuttle right in the middle of it all. Look at that.
Amazing intro. Hello, Cody. Welcome to Forza Monthly.
Hi, thank you for having me. Streaming helped me get me out of a tough spot. Also, I had some family members that have gone through tough spots. And if I can use just that one little thing to either get someone in chat, talk with them, get them out of a tough spot, or even ride with them and just get their mind off of it, and just have a free space. If I can help anyone, that's my main goal.
A big update actually today coming from the Suggestions Hub and the Troubleshooting Hub. So last April we published our first quarterly Community Hub update, and now we're following up with a second quarterly update, and that's over at Forza.net. Our last blog, when we announced our initial car list, we've done loads and loads of different things, including adding the Mercedes AMG GT Black Series, which had over 1,000 votes and was the 4th most requested car. And there's lots of more sort of highly requested cars from Suggestions Hub on their way into game as well. So the Toyota GR86 is one we've just been talking about in this show, and came directly from Suggestions Hub as well. So really nice.
Hello everyone, I'm your host Leah, and it's already time for another Forza Monthly. We've got another jam-packed show for you today, including more news and gameplay from Forza Motorsport, because we're only 2 months away from the game's launch on October 10th. But before we dive in, let's have a look at the full agenda for today's show. Up first, Chris Esaki is standing by at Turn 10 Studios to tell us all about multiplayer in Forza Motorsport. After that, I'll pass the mic to Playground Games, who will regale us with all things Italian Automotive in Forza Horizon 5's next series update. Doubling down on Italy, our community spotlight guest this month is GCode from Rusty Garage Racing, here to tell us how a passion for real-world race events can translate to the world of Forza. And speaking of events, we'll have a look at the latest happenings from our wonderful community. It's going to be a great show. So without further ado, let's welcome our first guest, creative director for Forza Motorsport. It's Chris Esaki. Chris, welcome back to Forza Monthly. Hello. We are just under 2 months now from launch, and you must be getting a little bit antsy.
Antsy is an understatement. Leah, it is a pleasure to see you again and be on the show, and to just be able to talk about, well, today we'll be talking about multiplayer. The team's been really hard at work. We're on the final phase of just polishing things up, dialing in the performance, and really just getting rid of the last bugs that are there. So it's really close. We're really excited, and it's looking really good.
Absolutely. I'm excited. I'm sure everyone is excited to hear about multiplayer. But first, I've seen on the Forza Motorsport social channels that you've begun formally announcing the cars and tracks coming to the game at launch. So, any chance you maybe might have another announcement for us today?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. And this one's exciting too, because it's a brand new fictional track that no one expected. And it's called, well, let's introduce it with this short video.
Amazing. We always love a bit of unexpected content. Thank you for that. Very exciting. So that's Grand Oak. What can you tell us about Grand Oak?
Grand Oak is a super wide and flowing track, which you probably saw in that video. And it's got some great high-speed sweepers, big elevation changes, but with a couple technical bits that remind me a little bit of VIR. While all the layouts allow high-performance cars to stretch their legs, players will find that this track has been designed to teach you about carrying speed through corners. So even lower performance cars give you plenty of exciting things to master here. This wide track, paired with its technical challenges, provide a great location for players to experience clean and competitive racing and to hone their racecraft with both AI and other players.
Amazing. I can't wait to check it out, which will actually happen soon because I believe we'll get to see more of Grand Oak as we dive into multiplayer. But one more thing, before we get there, are you able to reveal any more cars for us today?
Yes, it's only fair if we're going to reveal a new track. We're going to announce some cars alongside it. So everyone can check out these additions on our social channels after the show. But here's a quick look at another 30 some odd cars. I think the Porsche Taycan, the Turbo S, and the BMW M8 Competition Coupe in particular will be a lot of fun to speed around Grand Oak.
I'm very intrigued by your expert opinion. I'm very excited about that, and I'm sure everybody watching is as well. But it's time to move on to the main topic, multiplayer. So what can you tell us about multiplayer in Forza Motorsport?
To start, I just want to let everyone know we've invested heavily in the multiplayer experience for the new Forza Motorsport. Our goal of clean and competitive racing is supported by features such as driver and safety ratings, a machine learning powered rules and regulation system that everyone probably knows as Forza Race Regulations or FRR, the race weekend structure with scheduled events and qualifying, car performance balancing, new tire compounds, and a whole lot more.
Amazing. It sounds like a little bit of something for everyone then. So why don't we start with featured multiplayer? What exactly is featured multiplayer?
Featured multiplayer debuts our all-new race weekend structure. Each racing series in featured multiplayer has a live, real-world, time-based updated list of current and scheduled upcoming events. And there should always be something for you to jump into when you're ready to race. This new online racing mode completely replaces and improves upon the hoppers and league experiences from previous games. Now, there are two different types of events in featured multiplayer: our Spec Series and our Open Series. Spec Series allows you to take highly tuned and balanced machines, mostly race cars, and it's all about pure competition. At launch, we're targeting two series that you can always expect to see on this schedule: GT and touring cars. we will also be featuring a rotating spec series to celebrate other racing divisions and one makes. And that brings us to the other side of things, the Open Series. In the Open Series, it's where you can bring any car that meets the class restrictions. The additional element here of choice means you'll never know exactly what you'll be competing against until you get on the track. The Open Series will also be rotating through the various car classes on a weekly basis.
Amazing. A featured multiplayer really does sound very incredible. And you mentioned it's inspired by the real-world race weekend structure that everybody should already know and hopefully love. So can you explain that a bit more?
Yeah, sure thing. In each event, you and the people that you're matched with will go through all of the phases of the race weekend as a group, going through open practice, qualifying, and then the featured race together creates an exciting experience that evolves and intensifies as everyone gets ready for the big race. So first, in open practice, you'll have a little bit of time to get comfortable with that car-track combo and dial in your tire compound and even your fuel load. At any time before the featured race start, you can jump right into the qualifying session. Here, you'll have a limited number of laps, and your best time will determine your starting position at the beginning of the featured race. Now, keep in mind, you can also choose your tire compound and your fuel load specifically for qualifying, so you can always dial that in to maximize your time. It's also worth mentioning that we have a new feature, Skip Lap. Now, Skip Lap will be available in both open practice and the qualifying phases of a scheduled event to get a rolling start on a fresh lap, if necessary. However, using that skip lap during qualifying will cost you that current lap, so use it sparingly and only when you really need it. And when you're done with qualifying, it's time for the featured race.
There we go. The progression, it just sort of makes sense, I think, from a racing fan perspective. So for the featured race, what will actually be in place to ensure the competition is safe and fair and fun?
There's a lot of stuff here. And one of the things I want to really focus on is our Forza racing regulations, or FRR. We've had a lot of advancements here, and really want to let everyone know we've used machine learning this time around to completely overhaul FRR. FRR can now identify nearly 5,000 unique racing incidents, including track cutting, intentional collisions, and dirty driving. And FRR will award penalties accordingly. It'll even disqualify you if an incident is serious enough. Now, this new machine learning model also allows us to continually fine-tune the system and even add new racing incidents as time goes on. So one of the cool things here is that FRR has allowed us to remove all of those tire walls that everyone loved so much in the previous game that we put in to prevent track cutting. So those are all gone. And we've also redrawn all of our track limits that allow the use of a lot more of the track and is just that much more authentic.
Awesome. It's really, really cool to hear how this technology is being implemented and leveraged to evolve the game. And you've previously mentioned driver safety ratings. So does that come into play here as well?
Oh, absolutely. So we once again, with clean and competitive racing, we really want to make sure that players are matching with other players who are looking for similar types of racing, right? So improving matchmaking is a big component of what we've been doing. So driver ratings here. Driver ratings are skill-based and uses a new version of true skill that is powered by machine learning. Safety ratings are influenced by on-track behavior and are directly related to your FRR penalties, matching you with other players who drive in a similar manner to you. Also of note, we have a qualifier series. Now, the qualifier series is only for players entering featured multiplayer for the very first time. This series of a number of, just a few number of races really helps you get accustomed to the new rules and the new flow of the whole featured multiplayer event. And it also serves as a new basis for your driver and your safety ratings before joining the standard spec or open series that we talked about a little bit before. So this improved matchmaking system can work its magic.
Amazing. And that sounds like a welcome feature to both new drivers and to long-time Forza racers, hopefully. So once players are accustomed to the structure and the rules of all of this, I imagine strategy quickly becomes quite an important consideration. So how does pitting work in multiplayer?
So whether it's changing your tires, taking on more fuel, repairing damage, pitting is where the action, of course, happens. So in the new Forza Motorsport, we've added 3 racing tire compounds. I've talked about them a lot, so you all know that we have the softs, the mediums, the hards, and even the wet tire compounds, and they all have those differing grip and wear characteristics. Now, while all tires degrade over time, if you have the simulated tire damage on, the racing tire compounds will wear the quickest. So keep an eye on the tire wear indicator located next to each tire in the HUD. And when the tires are yellow, they're moderately worn, and you'll start to feel the tires kind of go off and lose their grip. When they're red, you have the least grip, and you really should pull in the pits to get those new tires. So in featured multiplayer, when you land in open practice, you can select your fuel load and your tire compound if you're running that race tire.
I knew we'd find a way to work in some talking points about tires. Never fails. So you also mentioned a private multiplayer is another way for players to compete with each other. So can you touch upon that?
Yeah, there's a lot to touch on here. So private multiplayer, just so everyone is up to speed, lets you set up the racing that you and your friends want. So you can choose from a variety of game modes like circuit race, timed race, multi-class, and even meetups. Here, you can pick the car class and the track, customize the race length, numerous racing options and restrictions, and of course, dial the level of FRR and a ton of other options. There are even some rule presets here where you can choose the kind of racing you want to prioritize, from a relaxed race with limited penalties and no race strategy, to a fully competitive event with strict penalties and required pit stops and, of course, simulated damage. Options in private multiplayer, well, there's a bunch of them. So I'm going to go through a few of them here so we can really explore these incredible new options. We have the access to the 24-hour dynamic time of day with adjustable time scaling, weather, dynamic track rubbering, custom FRR, damage, and additional ghosting rules. And other options include things like grid ordering, mandatory pit stops, support for up to 4 teams, and support for specific assist and camera overrides. Car restrictions include min and max power and weight, alongside a number of car configuration specifications like drive type or aspiration. Whew, that was a mouthful. All right. It's also worth noting that private multiplayer lobbies are not affected by safety or driver ratings, and similarly, matches in private lobbies don't affect your safety and driver ratings.
Excellent. Lots of space for experimentation there then. And the degree of customization sounds incredible. Like, so a lot there, a bit of a mouthful. So what about old favorites like Rivals and Time Attack? Will players still get to enjoy those modes?
Yeah, good news. Rivals are back. Rivals includes the classic Forza Motorsport Rivals event, along with Time Attack. Now, this is the place for competing with everyone in the world for the fastest lap times. Rivals in Forza Motorsport is where you're invited to really push yourself in the car to shave off every possible millisecond on a selected car-truck combo. Rivals events will feature a pre-built and tuned car that is always available for rent for free, so you can jump right into the action. Now, Time Attack will also be available at launch, where you can build and tune a car to your chosen PI class and attempt to set the fastest time possible. Wanted to note, we have some additional features in Rivals. Rivals events allow you to more easily select your starting rival or your training ghost, and also includes that skip lap option we talked about before to make your time here in Rivals that much more efficient. The car mastery sector scoring and timing will also be available here to help you shave off that last thousandth of a second on your time.
All matters. It all counts. Hopefully players will love that there are so many ways to compete as well.
The competitive racing that we wanted to have in featured multiplayer with full fields for great racing, unfortunately, means that our spectate mode is not in for launch. Having players come into a featured multiplayer event and taking player slots and then spectating, it's not really the racing that we had intended. Similarly, racing with AI in featured multiplayer with all its potential impacts on your safety rating also didn't make a whole lot of sense to have and is not going to be available for us at launch. And since we're on the topic of some legacy features that aren't in at launch, Our heavy investment in pushing our new graphical features and our complete overhaul of the rendering engine unfortunately made split screen really difficult to implement and is also not going to be in for launch.
Thank you for letting us know. Well, that's a lot of information about multiplayer, and I know you didn't even go through every single last option like we could have done. I'm sure you were itching to do. So my last question for you, Chris. I've heard that some players are concerned about not being able to simply purchase upgrades for their car to use in multiplayer. So how will that actually work?
Ooh, that is a tough question, and so I'm going to take some time to address this since this is a really complex answer, and I believe there are several assumptions that are probably behind that question or those concerns. So let me try to put this whole picture together since there are many details here. So let's start with spec racing. In the spec racing series and featured multiplayer, and in Rivals, all cars are homologated and tuned and balanced from the moment you get in them. This means all cars in these series are purpose-tuned and built at level 1 to be competitive. No unlocks or leveling are necessary here for these cars to compete. Of course, you can always rent these cars for free, see which car you like, and jump right into the action. Now, cars in the spec series in featured multiplayer and in Rivals will of course gain XP and level just like everywhere else in the game. So you can easily level up these cars for use in the open series in feature multiplayer or even in the Builders Cup. Now that's the spec side of things. Now the open series. In the open series, private multiplayer or time attack, what you bring is up to you. Cars may need to be leveled here to install the upgrades you want to build to your desired PI target. And you can always rent cars here, but of course they'll be stock performance and you won't be gaining XP or levels there for the rentals. And this brings me to the larger picture of how we are providing some guide rails for you to explore the over 500 cars that we have at launch. Every week, the rotating spec and open series that we talked about in featured multiplayer change to new ones every week. That means new one make and class-based series are available and focus the competition on that week-to-week basis and helps you with your car builds and your car progression. The rotating spec and open series can shift how the community at large focus their time and how they progress their cars. And that is in addition to all of the car progression that people will be making with cars in the Builders Cup and of course with Rivals. So, if you're a community organizer, you can use this knowledge of Builders Cup cars, spec cars found in featured multiplayer, and this weekly heartbeat of these rotating series to help you build your events and quickly grow that list of potential cars for all of your racing. Now, if you're a competitor, you can use this weekly heartbeat to help you focus your progression of your cars and test out builds while you're enjoying all of the game's content. So this is the first phase of our online racing for the new Forza Motorsport. With this over 500 car list available for players on day one, we want to ensure that the experience offered here provides some guide rails for both the community organizers and competitors alike, while also delivering on this goal of falling in love with cars.
Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to explain everything to us. There is a lot to be excited about with multiplayer.
Leah, it was my pleasure, and thanks for having me, and thanks everyone here for tuning in to hear all about the game.
A pleasure as always. Thank you. There was so much shared today, and yet even more as we near the launch of the game. So if you have any ideas for future Forza Motorsport content or features, head over to the Suggestions Hub, or Shub, as Ali likes to call it, by typing in the link on your screen right now. And for all the first-time viewers, Forza Motorsport is coming this October 10th to Xbox Series X, S, Windows 10 and 11 PCs via the Microsoft Store and Steam, and Xbox Game Pass for PC and console. Pre-order the Forza Motorsport Premium Edition and play up to 5 days early. Xbox Game Pass members can upgrade to the Premium Add-ons bundle to receive early access and all the add-on content included in the Premium Edition. Steam players, add Forza Motorsport to your wishlist today to be notified of when pre-orders are available for you. All right, well, I'm about to pass it over to our friends at Playground Games, but first, let's have a look at the greatest liveries from the most recent contest.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Horizon section of our show today, coming to you from Playground Games Studio here in Leamington Spa. I'm Giuseppe D'Alicante, community developer at Playground Games. Brace yourself for this one, it's gonna be big. We are going to dive straight in because we simply have too many cars to talk about. How many, you might ask? Well, thanks for asking. 5, 10, 20? What if I told you that this month there are 23 cars being added to Forza Horizon 5, the biggest number we have ever added in a single month. Now, we're going through all of the details through the show, but I can tell you right now that 8 of these cars can be earned through the festival playlist. 8 of them will be added directly to the auto show, and the last 7 will be part of a brand new car park. These include 16 returning cars from Alfa Romeo, Fiat, Abarth and Lancia, as well as 7 new cars from other well-known Italian brands. You can guess which ones. And we'll be revealing exactly what those 23 cars are throughout the show, so strap in because we have lots to cover. One thing to know before we continue, once Italian Automotive series starts on August 17, make sure to not skip the start screen, okay? Because you might find something a bit different and for sure very much Italian. Now, let's see what we got coming up today. With all of these Italian vehicles joining us this update, we make sure to theme the festival playlist accordingly. After giving you a look at some of the new events and rewards, we'll show you which cars will be dropping into the auto show, where you can buy them immediately. Next, it's time to celebrate our community creators with EventLab of the Month. Following the spotlight, we'll give you more info about the brand new Italian Exotics car pack. Nearly last but definitely not least, we'll walk you through some important bug fixes, including a change that we know the community is going to be very excited about. Stay tuned for that. Finally, we'll give you a sneak peek of the next month update, which we hope you love just as much as this one. But before we go through the content we're going to present you today, what about saying hello to our lovely guests, right? Starting with our lovely vehicle director, Chris Phillips. Hello, my friend.
Ciao, Giuseppe, ciao.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you, I'm good. Excited to be here, excited to have some cars back in the game.
Yeah, but not normal cars, we're talking about Italian beauties. I mean, just let me put it straight away. This is a mint update, we know this, all right? But we're going to get to that part soon. Speaking about mint people, Joe Glasgow-Dine, game designer assistant. Welcome to the show, Joe. How are you doing?
Ciao, Giuseppe. What an intro, thanks. Yeah, really excited. Amazing to have these cars back. Can't wait to jump in them and give them a go.
Good, because we have a lot of people on the Forza community that were asking for these cars to be back. So
they were asking for them back.
Yes, sometimes. Not a few times here and there. I know. Speaking of cars, please join me welcoming for the very first time somebody from the vehicle art team. vehicle artist Alice Zaria. Alice, welcome.
Buongiorno. I'm so excited to be here for the first time. It's great to be with good people.
Good, because Alice, you
And,
can also talk Italian.
Yes, I do talk a bit, so I can pronounce the names, and we'll be here to just show you what great things we have in store.
Bellissimo, perfetto. So now, coming back to you, Joe, you know this part. This is the part where I ask you, can you please introduce us to the festival playlist and the rewards and all the content coming up?
I would love to, yeah. So we'll jump into the series screen. We've got Italian Automotive. So already we can see the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ for 80 points. Players will love to get hold of that again. And the Ferrari 512 Testarossa for 160 points. I may need some help with some of these Italian car names.
You pronounce Testarossa, okay. Testarossa, it's good.
Yeah,
it's
for the
good,
feedback, just give it throughout, and I'll try and improve. Some awesome artwork there. Kind of gives me Italian job vibes. Really love that. So we'll jump into the first month. We've got the Alfa Romeo 155 for 20 points. Comes with a very cool body kit. Chris will go into some more details about that later. And the Lancia Delta S4, an amazing rally car that one is, so that's 40 points. We'll run through the events. We've got the weekly in the 1968 at Bath, 595. Some daily challenges, the Forzathon shop, Horizon Arcade, the trial, a chance to get the Alfa Romeo GTA for the trial. So that will be in the auto show, but players can kind of earn rewards throughout the series to get those as well.
Good.
We'll go through the event labs. You should hopefully see a clip of this. This one's by Subi156. Makes a lot of amazing event labs. Probably seen them before. Yeah. So this is a smooth asphalt racetrack with a cool tunnel and kind of lots of greenery lining the track. We'll jump to the next one by Torque Demons. This is Beach Town Scramble. This is like a mixed surface race through Playa Azul with ramps and a cool stone tunnel. We've got the PR stunts. This is S2 Italian cars. Fits the theme, so we thought we might as well.
Thank you.
Some seasonal championships. We've got a treasure chest, treasure hunt. The photo challenge with a beautiful artwork by Tom. Looks like it was set in Italy itself with the Ferrari. Horizon Open, the monthly rivals, so 2 this time. We've got one with the Alfa Romeo 4C on the Vulcan Sprint, and another interesting, is that Lamborghini? Well,
I need to check, I'm not sure, probably is.
Yeah, looks like something. Probably get some more details on that, and that's around the Horizon Mexico circuit. And then we've got the Rally Adventure events and PR stunts, and the Hot Wheels events and PR stunts.
Well, that's lovely.
But yeah, lots going on. So let me jump to the next week.
I'm actually glad that the Alfa Romeo, which I refuse to call 155, the 155, Alice, yeah? 155, there you go.
Just sounds better.
You see, it's here, and it's like the very first thing you see the first week to earn as being one of those cars that people wanted. On Reddit, there were like a couple of threads about
just a couple.
Yeah.
Just a couple. So
yeah,
I'm glad that that's going to be the first car that people will be able to redeem in Festival Playlist.
Yeah, jump straight back into the awesome cars that are coming
Yes,
back.
thanks.
So yeah, onto autumn, which is the storm season. We've got the Bath 695 Biposto.
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 And the Alfa Romeo 4C for 40 points. We've got the Lancia Delta. You can have a go at that one if you want.
Lancia
Delta.
Delta HF.
Yeah.
Integrale. Evo.
That one.
Then
we've got the daily challenges. We've got the Forzathon shop. The trial in the Lancia Stratos. Good opportunity to get that car. This event lab by the Filthy Honey. We've got Stadium City Sprint. So this is kind of like a winding road race about impressive city built entirely inside the stadium. So a really cool event, that one. And Sky Arc has got their event. This like a winding track through a marina city on the waterfront, really pretty with like boats on the waterfront. And then we got the PR stunts, some seasonal championships, the photo challenge, and a collectible. Italy's quite well known for its regattas.
Yes.
We've got like a yacht regatta boat there.
Correct.
Again, going back to the monthly rivals, the rally adventure events, and the Hot Wheels events.
I noticed the Stratos there, right? So is one of those cars that we can also get through the auto show.
Yeah, so that's another one that you can get through the auto show. Again, a classic rally car. I'm kind of really excited for players to go back to, if they've got the rally adventure, jump back in these rally cars, give another run, see if you can beat your times. Yeah, they're just built for that DLC, so perfect for players to grab that.
Yes.
So yeah, onto the winter, the dry season. We've got for 20 points the Abarth 131. And one of my favourites of the returning cars, the Alfa Romeo 8C for 40 points. Like a beautiful car, so good.
Probably one of the prettiest cars ever made.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I'm biased, so I'm not going to say anything.
Giuseppe paid me to say that. For the weekly, we've got the Fiat 124 Spider Abarth. Beautiful car as well. We've got the daily challenges, the Forza Horizon shop, the trial where you can, another beautiful car, the Alfa Giulia.
Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio Verde.
I mean, you say it so much better than I do.
It's a mean car, man, honestly. If you don't like a Giulia, I don't know what to say. Yeah. I think I'm going to leave. I'm not leaving. I'm not joking. Everybody loves the Giulia.
We all love the Giulia.
Very good.
Yeah, so we've got an event lab by, I think this is Aldir 009. This is AV Paradise. This is like a technical street circuit with impressive tight city backdrop and road signs and palm trees, like a really nice setup for this one. And then another returning event lab creator, Dexter, with the Pipeline Stadium circuit. This was our event lab of the month a few weeks back, so players can give that a go if they didn't catch it then. We've got the seasonal playground games, the PR stunts, seasonal championships, the treasure hunt.
Stratospheric, love
that. Awesome.
Thank you for the puns. Thank you very much.
The photo challenge, Horizon Open, monthly rivals, and the rally adventure and Hot Wheels. Cool, let me jump out of here. We'll go to the final week.
The Giulia Quadrifoglio Verde.
Yeah.
Can I buy it from the auto show, please?
You can, yes.
Oh, thank you. There you are.
Everyone's happy now.
Yeah.
I am happy. Oh, that's
you can
fine.
have as many as you want.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
I think 55,000 credits, I think.
55,000 credits.
It's a
Finance
bargain for that thing.
accepted? No, I mean just 55,000. Yeah. Who doesn't have 55,000?
We can talk after the stream. I'm sure I can do your deal,
Alrighty
Giuseppe.
then, all right.
You get it if you can pronounce the name fully, like Giuseppe.
Then I can't get it. So for the final week, spring, the hot season, we've got the Abarth 124 for 20 points, and the Lancia 037 Stradale for 40 points. We've got the Giulia back for the weekly.
Yes.
We've got daily challenges.
Look how beautiful it is. I'm sorry, I'm just keep admiring the Giulia. You can go on, sorry. Don't want to interrupt.
We've got the Forza Horizon shop. We've got the trial. An event lab from Pinhead Larry. We'll have a clip here again. So this is like a road racing circuit with Neon City built around Perezul. And then HSK meets their Hell's Dock circuit. This is like a slow technical route with through like impressive dock recreation with containers everywhere and big cargo ships. One for the drifters, this one. We've got the PR stunts. This is S2 Italy again. Seasonal championships. We've got the tour this week. The treasure hunt, photo challenge, the eliminator, monthly rivals, and the rally adventure and Hot Wheels events.
Thank you very much, Joe. The playlist, if you agree with me, looks mint. Yes, well, like quite a lot of interesting rewards, I will say. So, why don't we get actually a closer look at the reward calls for this series? And thanks to the magic of technology, you should be able to see a beautiful screenshot that if you want. And these are all the cars coming from August 17th, which is a Thursday, which is when the series starts. Right, Chris, apologies for bothering you probably once a week, maybe more, about...
Daily.
Yeah, asking you the same question. Alfa, Fiat, Lancia, when... Sorry, so do you think you can give us a little bit more insights of this process, essentially?
Yeah, so much like our community, we've been wanting to bring back Fiat, Abarth, Lancia and Alfa Romeo. We've been longing after them as well, and we've been working hard behind the scenes to return them. Many of us also lurk on the subreddit for Horizon, and it's been really great to see the understanding of the community around their absence. As you said at the top of the show as well, it's the most amount of cars we've ever added in a series, and I just want to give a massive shout out to the vehicle team. It's been a monumental effort bringing these cars back. When we return cars, we have to bring each car back to the current spec for both the asset, the handling and the audio. And it's just been a huge amount of work behind the scenes. We've been working on it for quite some time. And yeah, it's fantastic to bring them back.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Alice and the vehicle art team, and to everybody involved to bring these beautiful cars back. Thank you. How about we have a look at one of these cars, for example, the Alfa 155, the 155. Thank you very much, Chris. Would you mind?
It just sounds so much better when you say it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I want to show this one because this was a real fan favorite from Horizon 4. I think in particular, people really loved the body kits that it had. I just wanted to reassure everyone they are returning. There it is. It's a good looking car to start with, this one. I love the 90s kind of boxy design. Really love Alphas from this era. This just makes it so much better. So let's bolt that on and take it for a drive. So the kit's based on, this car raced in the German Touring Car Championship, DTM. There's a few kind of variants of it in that. It was unlike the road car we got, which is the Q4 155, which the road one was an inline 4 all-wheel drive. The race car was rear-wheel drive with a V6 instead. There was a V6 road version as well, but the sportiest one was weirdly an inline 4 turbo. And it's just such a cool car, this thing. It drives really well too. The upgrade preset takes up to the top of S1, where it's a very, very nice driving car. It's on slicks, so nice race car feel.
Handles really well.
Yeah.
And I'm really waiting for people to bring the livery back from the DTM, because I'm quite sure they're gonna do it, you know?
Yeah, within about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
3 seconds straight in. So yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, good. Very good to have the pocket back. Thank you. Now, why don't we have a look at another legendary car, the Lancia Delta S4.
Yes,
Yeah?
This is an absolute legend. So there are 2 Delta variants, both of which are coming back, obviously. There's the Delta Integrale and the Delta S4, which is what this is. This is the road homologated Group B car. Group B, something people have probably heard us talk about before. A few of us have a small fascination with it. It was that era of rallying when it just went absolutely bonkers. So the road car, 200 horsepower. It's a supercharged and turbocharged engine, but unlike the Integrale, the engine's in the back. It's mid-engine. If we jump across to the auto show, not the change car screen. The effects of being on stream and getting the UI wrong.
It is what it is, man. I'm glad that we're actually showing the upgrades. I have a question for you straight away. Can we go and we put the anti-lag?
It will have anti-lag, yes.
There you go. Thank you very much for that.
So the upgrade preset doesn't have anti-lag actually, for reasons. Please don't ask why. But yeah, so you can turn it into the Group B car. If we apply that, it's going to give it a nice 624 horsepower, which is actually in around where these were. When they raced, it kind of went from anywhere from like 500 to, there were rumours at some points they ran 800 horsepower. Ridiculously fast cars.
Yeah. To say they did more, and then it actually won 6 times in a row, so probably did more than...
Yes, yes, it almost certainly did more. Yeah, these things were an absolute weapon. I think it won at least 1 World Championship title. I'm going off memory there. We don't have it in the notes. Yeah, let's take it out and just give this a quick spin. Also in-game builds into a great rally car, as you'd expect from something like this. And there's the anti-lag.
I mean,
amazing.
I think it's about to do some justice and go back to Rally Adventure, for example, and use this against the Audi, for example.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Audi, the RS200s,
Yes.
Metro 6R4. I really like Group B cars. I don't know if anyone can tell.
Yeah, I think it's just a period where rally went crazy. It was just anything goes, and you just had you just hoped you survived and won the race in the process. But yeah, just amazing, incredible cars.
Alrighty then, so why don't we have a look at some of the cars in the auto show, actually. So these cars will be available, the one that we are showing now, they're going to be available from August 15th, which is when the Italian Automotive update drops. So from that moment onwards, you can buy these cars from the auto show. So I think it's fair to start with my favorite car that probably people guess which one it is. Alice.
Yeah, the Fiat 500.
No, I mean, it's a mint car, don't get me wrong, love it, an icon, but I'm talking about the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio Verde.
We are here to talk about this beauty, which we are biased, we love it. We're very excited to work on it. So this is a 2.6 liters V6. And it's just such a beautiful machine, but what differentiates it from the standard Giulia is the aerodynamic, the vents, the rear diffusers, and this car was worked in partnership with Maserati and Ferrari to bring it to this high performance that it is. And this is the first car that was sold in the United States in 21 years, so
wow.
Quite eventful. The people liked it over there as well as much as we did.
They should have good taste, I would say.
Oh yes, and it's quite nice, 506 horsepower, and the standard is kind of lightweight, so it brings that power to the road. It also sounds very nice in my opinion. You can cruise it down the road nicely, but it also has that kick to it, and it's great.
Alfa Romeo are built to give you emotions. So
Yes.
do you think this car does that?
Yeah, I feel like when you get from 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, you get that nice feeling. So it's great.
There you have it. So thank you very much also for taking good care of my favorite car.
Yes, it was great team effort, and we took care of it, and the players will enjoy it, hopefully.
It's in good hands.
It is in very good hands. Perfect. Chris, next one.
We have another rallying legend.
You tell me
From
which
Lancia.
one it is. Come on.
I feel like when you say Lancia, rally legend, just kind of, it's the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
You should just call it the Lancia category.
It's not rallying, it's
Not
just
big
Lancia.
Lancia.
Excuse me, I'm getting lost in the UI again. Yes, so let's take a look at the Stratos. So this is another name that's synonymous with rallying. It's also just a beautiful car. So this was built before Group B. There was Group 4. And Group 4 was things like the Stratos, the Ford Escorts. So this is the Stradale version, the road version. But if we jump into the auto show, much like the Delta S4,
Yes.
you can make it the proper rally version. Which
Oh.
is what we all really want, isn't it?
Yes.
There we go.
There you have it.
Pop-up taillights, everyone loves them.
I also just love the exhausts are different positions. And I'm convinced that's to give equal length exhaust pipes.
It's
I
Italian
don't know
engineer,
for
man.
sure,
It's
but
Italian engineer. You don't discuss it, just appreciate
It's
it.
just it is because it is.
Yeah.
That's basically how I would phrase it. So yeah.
But yeah, awesome car. Drives really well as well. Very, very reactive car. It's a very short wheelbase, very wide. So
It's a prime wedge shape of car as well. I feel there's like a period of time where a lot of cars kind of came out in that wedge design, and this is definitely one of those.
it's very wedgy. Yeah. I just made myself laugh. Yeah, it's a
mint car.
It's a mint car.
Which is like TLDR. It's a mint car.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for giving us a proper dive in some of these cars. I know there are too many, so players can find them by themselves. Just to recap, you will be able to get these cars from the Auto Show starting from August 15th. Now, before we go to the next part, it's time to say bye to Joe.
Ciao.
Ciao, Joe.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for sticking with us. And Alice, Chris, you can stay with me because we're going to talk about other cars. Guess what? Because there are more coming. And before we move on, I think, Joe, if you agree, it's time to launch, to go with the jingle.
Yeah, jingle, jangle,
Joe.
Yeah.
For the, yeah? In 3, 2, 1, Event Lab of the Month now. What a great time to showcase the Event Lab of the Month as we welcome Design Director Torben Ellert. Welcome back, Torben.
Hey, Giuseppe.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here. Long time no see. How have you been?
I'm fine. It's lovely to be back on the couch with all of you guys talking about what's coming up. It's quite a show full of kind of big emotions and lots of hand gestures. I know you're fairly invested in this whole update.
Just a tad. Just a
little
tad.
bit.
Just a
Just a little
tad.
bit.
Just a tad. Well, thank you very much for joining us in the
it's
Italian
great to be here.
Automotive update. All right, thank you for coming over, Torben. Now, one quick thing to note is that EventLab creators will have access to 7 new props in Series 24, Italian Automotive. Now, we hope you and our viewers at home are actually ready for this month's Spotlight event. It is called Peel Wars and has been created by Joewon Song, which I'm quite sure everybody's familiar with. Yes? Yes. So let's take a look at it now, please. Thank you very much. There you have it. So,
what is this?
What is this? So, this is, first of all, this is being recorded with some developers playing the event, and essentially it's an obstacle course. The first to reach the goal wins.
An obstacle course.
It's an obstacle course, basically,
That
right?
is amazing.
Does anyone get to the finish line? That's the question.
If they manage to, without throwing the controller before doing that, because
That one won't.
I love that poor person's now just trapped there until someone gets to the finish.
basically, and I think there are all peel stock ones. So
How does the stock peel even make it up that slope and then smash a thing?
It's a very well made event lab. It's tuned so perfectly to allow
Are
it to
those
do
rocks used there to create? Oh, and
that,
the jump. Those rocks used to create that bump surface. That's great.
I mean, this is one of those events that can either make or break friendships. If you rate it,
If someone brings me this, they are automatically my friend.
honestly. So if you want to troll, your friends, let's play a really nice race, right? So go with this, and but I was expecting a race. Well, it is a race because you need to get to the goal, as soon as possible. I didn't tell you how complicated it is, so it's up to you to find that out. Honestly,
This is great. This is great. This is so good.
It's very creative, this one.
Yes.
It is.
They had some fun making it, probably.
it is very creative. There is a little bit
Oh
of
no! That's the whole thing with jumps and little cars like that. It rolls over forward and you're toast.
the big jump,
Small jump, small jump.
small jump.
That's probably the fastest the peel's ever gone.
When
Downwards.
when in
Through the
space,
assist of gravity.
The bits that go flying off it.
I think we're close, 98%, 99%. And there you go,
That is
smashed it.
amazing.
Nailed it. All right, so so if you want to play the event for yourself, you can check it out right now. It's in the PG's editor choice tab of the game, or you can look it up, and we're gonna have the share code on screen right now. The share code is 159136721. Now, our avid car lovers out there will be happy to know that we have more cars to talk about, and following the recent launch of the Horizon Racing car pack, this update will welcome some of the finest masterpieces of Italian design in the new Italian Exotics car park. Starting from Tuesday, August 15th, these 7 amazing new to Forza cars will be available to purchase separate from the Forza Horizon 5 car pass, standard, deluxe or premium edition, and can be found on the Microsoft Store and Steam for $9.99 or £7.99 or €9.99. And there you have it. I think it's a great selection of cars, if you ask me. But again, I'm biased, so I can't really talk about it.
I was about to say, I mean.
I was about to say I'm biased. So, Alice, how about we take some of them for a spin? Not all of them, because we don't have enough time. So, let's start with, actually, you pick which one you want.
So one very exciting one that I would like to start with is the Lamborghini Essenza SVC V12. So it's in the name, it's a V12 beast. It's absolutely insane what they managed to produce with this car. You'll never see it on the road. No kids taken to school in this beast. It's a track-only car and professionals will enjoy it on the track. It can produce 819 horsepower, so and it's quite lightweight as well because the carbon fiber interior makes it just very lightweight, and they will have a lot of fun on track with it, I bet. But as well in game because the handling is great. The sound is just amazing. That V12 just rambling through it.
proper engine.
And it actually has the carbon fiber cockpit. It's so that you don't need a roll cage. It's safe, it's fast, and it's fun.
It's safe. Are you telling me it's a safe car?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, they say.
If you know how to drive it.
Yeah, you need that initial skills. Can you lift off the ground?
I mean, I can try driving it. I'm a little bit, intimidated by its beauty, but yeah, I think you can.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Drive it.
The dramatic lines on it, the aerodynamics, just you can see that it's a car made to enjoy and have fun, and it's a beast.
That's cool. Now, if you don't mind, why don't we take a look at another car? And again, I'll let you pick one.
Great. So another car that we'll present to you today is the Ital Design Da Vinci 2019. This is a concept car and I absolutely love it. So from the profile you look at it and you say, oh, this is quite an elegant and simple car, but the more you spin it around and the more you look at it, you can see the dramatic air duct bonnet and it's just a full electric car. So that would be great for the future. And it has some Italian drama to it.
What is that? I mean...
There is some Italian drama. You can the whole family will get out in one go. Because
like a whole side Gullwing.
Yeah, everyone will get out. And because this is quite a long car, this is almost 5 meters in length. So it's plenty of space in there. They call the gull wing doors. So you can it actually feels like you could fly off this car for sure.
I'm quite sure that people will fly this car, the big jump at the Horizon Festival, the super big jump. They're going to start making records with that. It's got the gold wings. I don't think you can open them while in air, but...
A new challenge.
A new challenge. Well, that's lovely.
So we also have on this car the accents of the taillights. They are just like combining the elegance with contemporary, just artistic features, and it is gorgeous.
Alice, thank you very much for this little bit of a tour with these beautiful Italian cars. Again, I'm not biased.
Yeah, we are not, both of us. Thank you so much as well, Giuseppe. It's been great.
Now, our team here at Playground is working each day to improve Forza Horizon for every player all around the world, and a major part of this is keeping an eye on bug reports and feature requests from the community, the FAB and the shop, remember that, yeah? So to start off, Torben, do you have anything to share about, for example, how players are supposed to have all these car stores in their garage by any chance?
Absolutely. I want to talk about change that we see basically everywhere we look, and that's a change to the garage size. And I am delighted to be able to share with you that with this update, we will be doubling the number of cars you can have in your garage from the current limit of 1,000 to the new maximum of 2,000, which means finally I can have all the rally fighters I want. I know, Chris, you think that's a very reasonable and rational thing for me to be spending my garage space on.
Rally fighters.
Yes, rally fighters.
Not Ferraris.
No,
Lamborghinis,
rally fighters.
Alphas,
No,
Fiats,
rally fighters from
Abarths.
the lowest they will go to the highest that they will go, and in every livery imaginable. Rally fighters. No, more seriously, I thought I would take a little bit of time here on the stream to share some of the complexities behind making a change like this. If you don't care about how the sausage gets made, skip the rest. There'll be a timestamp on screen potentially, so you can join me after we've been chatting about this. But if you're still with me, the garage size is part of your save game on all platforms. This also applies to your local livery and tune storage, both of which are increasing to 1,000. Photos are not changing in this update. I can't talk about that just yet, but watch this space. I'll have more for you down the line. The save game doesn't just contain your cars, obviously. It contains a local copy of your campaign progression, as well as your cars, your liveries, and your tunes, and everything else. But it's reserved space, meaning that when we increase the size of the save game, we have to find and assign additional space on disk, essentially locking it in so that when we need it, we have it. If you're wondering, this update increases the size of your save game to 2 gigabytes. I remember when my entire games library was 2 gigabytes or smaller.
You're old.
Thank you, Chris. I needed that. That will make me feel great. But that increased size means that when we synchronize that data to remote storage, we need to increase the storage we have available in the remote storage. This is what we kind of call a second tier complexity. Basically, making a change brings a lot of knock-on effects that need to be followed through and worked through and delivered. These are things like, if we increase the number of cars you can have, we also need to change and improve the performance on screens that can show all of those cars. Going from being able to show 1,000 to being able to show 2,000 is quite a sizable change and has a lot of consequences behind the scenes. The auction house needs to be updated to handle the fact that sometimes players can have more than 1,000 cars in their garage and handle that in a good way. We also need to deploy new backends so that when the on-disk change comes out to all of you, the servers are spun up and ready to receive it. Making things even more complicated is the fact that we basically manage 2 separate types of remote storage. There's one for Xbox and Steam, depending on the platform you're on, and the other one is our internal servers that mainly support the auction house, as well as the message center and loads of other systems, all of which now need to know that max cars can equal 2,000 rather than the previous number. In short, making a change to the number of cars you can have impacts so many different interconnected systems, from the bytes that are assigned on the disk through loads of different screens and systems in game, all the way out to the servers that are running in the background supporting the game. Too long didn't read. You can have 2,000 cars now. I'm sorry it took so long to get this update out, but I hope this explanation provides a little bit of insight into what's actually involved in making a change like that.
Thank you very much, Torben, for all the super detailed insights. And now that the garage space is actually sorted, are we going to do anything for the tuning? Alice, can you tell us anything?
Yes, so after the update, we'll have 1,000, and that would be great for the players.
That's lovely. Thank you so much. Chris, since I'm having you here, what can you tell us about the liveries?
For you, Giuseppe, 1,000.
Thanks, Chris. That's amazing, amazing, amazing. Now, let's pull back a little to recap that this month we will be increasing the available space for the garage, tunes, and liveries. There's been so much on this show and we basically nearly ran out of time, but on top of all of this, you can find news on some interesting bug fixes in the release notes that we're going to publish on Tuesday. Now, is there anything else that we were going to share with the lovely people?
This is usually the point where we kind of crack open Festival Playlist and take a look at the Coming Soon page.
For example?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
So Horizon Creatives is the name of the next series. And there's some new cars, there's new collectibles, some new EventLab props, and some really exciting stuff for EventLab. Really looking forward to just grabbing things and talking about that.
I really can't wait to unveil this for the EventLab community. They're gonna love it. They're gonna love it.
It's a big one.
Yes. So, and with that, we reach the end of our portion of the show. Thank you all very much for your amazing insights. And before we sign off, let's recap and take a final look into all the vehicles we talked about today. So, starting with the festival playlist cars that you can see here. These will be available for you to take from August 17th, as soon as the Italian Automotive series lands. Then we're gonna go to the Autoshow Cars that you will be able to buy from August 15th. Amazing cars. And then from August 15th, if you would, these are the 7 cars that will be available in the Italian Exotics car park. Alright, we hope everyone will have plenty of time to spend with all these new cars and features when Italian Automotive series releases to all players on Xbox, Windows and Steam on August 17th. Now, stay tuned for some lovely photography courtesy of our official contest that we held every week on the Forza forums. Our community spotlight is up next, but from all of us in the studio, these lovely people here, we say ciao!
Ciao.
Thank you, grazie! Enjoy the update!
He really loves this update.
He really does.
I really do. Playground Games just shared so many Italian cars, and our next guest knows a thing or two about them as well, because this month's Community Spotlight guest is GCode, a longtime Forza player who enjoys creating real-world events in both Motorsport and Horizon. And as a nice surprise, I mentioned doubling down on Italy in the intro, and we're doubling down here again, because I'd like to welcome not just GCode, but his good friend DipHop. Welcome to Forza Monthly. Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you, everyone.
Nice to meet you guys. It's a pleasure for us being here.
We're super excited. You know, after all these years, it's like a dream for us being here in an interview for Forza.
It is a pleasure to have you both. Thank you for being here. Let's start by, if you tell us a little bit about Rusty Garage Racing, because the two of you have been involved with that community for quite a long time now.
Yes, starting from the fact we are good friends, so also in real life. We started the Rusty Garage at the end of Motorsport 3. We went straight into the Rusty Garage from Motorsport 4 with some drifting events, some Super Touring Car Championship with all DTM cars, Japanese racing cars, something like that. And we are still here. After all this year, we are there. We have our group of friends, so we are super happy to be here.
The mission is to bring the reality in the game. We try to recreate those situations, those events with those cars, with those liveries, and we try to put everything together to make it
the more real possible.
The more real as possible, yes.
Great. And now, I mean, you've got members from all over the world, haven't you? Like Argentina, the UK, you've got loads of different countries taking part in Rusty Garage Racing. I mean, how would you describe the vibe then of Rusty Garage Racing? Is it quite competitive or is it like more casual feeling? What's the vibe?
We are more chilling group. So, you know, it's Monday, we want to race, we want to chill. We drive faster, but the mood is always more about chilling, just having fun between friends. Also, if the level is really high, we have some driver really fast from all around the world. As you said, we have driver from Argentina, from Germany, from UK. So chilling, but always with performance. That's our mood. And we also have the pleasure to involve some friends outside of Forza into the game, just because we are more related to guys with that are interested in the car culture. So we have friends that say, "Oh, guys, you did the DTM events, so I want to race. I want to race with the BMW Jägermeister." Okay, you're in. They bought the steering wheel. They bought the Xbox. They went straight into the Rusty, and
yeah, that's good. And you all inspire each other to join different events and things, and that's the best part about a community. And I can see behind you, you actually have an amazing collection of model cars there. So have we got any Italian favorites from there?
I want to show you my masterpiece from my collection. So I'm talking about a touring car from DTM 1993. It's an Alfa Romeo 155. Who won the championship, so you can spy inside the cockpit.
Very awesome. Well, I mean, speaking of events, then let's talk about some of the events that you put on in game. So you do put on events in Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport. So what sort of stuff have you put on recently?
Yeah, if we talk about our recent event, I think that our favorite was the Rusty Classics, where we decided to do a best of and a mix of 5 of our favorite categories from the game. And we decided to do a mix with the Group C cars, the DTM cars, the late 60s touring cars, late 80s touring cars, Group 5 racing. It was a huge mix because we had 2 different classes every night, and it was super fun because maybe race 1 was with a slow car, race 2 with a fast car, and the same things in the other racetrack with a fast car, slow car on the second race. So it took us a lot of time to make this event because we made something like 120 liveries for this time. It took us sometimes like 3-4 months. Maybe we took that time. We also made, in the meanwhile, another event on Horizon 5, always with the historic mode. So we decided to do a rally legend, a sort of rally legend that is one of our favorite event near here. We decided to recreate the 6 stages, with the shakedown. With some custom rules. I create some custom rules that took the stage times between a point A and a point B inside the start and the finish of the race. So we had the pleasure to have a list with all the stage times at the end of every race, and to recreate an overall standings at the end of all the races. So it was an experiment, and it went very well for us. We were 16. Unexpected. A lot of guys say, "Oh, that's super cool. I want to race," and we were also super happy with at the end of the event. I think that we would like to do that again, maybe with some cool Italian rally cars, maybe in Horizon 5. So we can wait to do the second edition.
Sounds like you have to put a lot of time and prep into that. So, I mean, I guess we'll see in a few months' time. But you also do photo shooting sessions as well, don't you? Where you all sort of have like a theme and you pose together?
Yeah. We also do a lot of shootings with, for example, Gasoline. Gasoline, our friend. Sometimes during the night we're there. We say, "Oh, guys, I have this idea." We put that together. Me and Deep maybe made deliveries. And we put all the cars together. We made some teamed shooting.
We choose the spot, we choose the cars, and we try to create something that you never see before.
And you have an Instagram account that you do keep updated, and you work with quite a lot of photographers in the photography community as well, don't you? So I don't know if there's anyone in particular you wanted to shout out with that.
Yes, we have
a lot of friends. We have
our admin,
Cool Monkey.
is Michele Rosetta.
A lot of friends from the south of Italy.
Armando. Alessandro Pizzo Primo.
De Gregoris, Pizzo Primo.
There is also Wabi Sabi, that is one of our dear friend right there, near Monza. He's always with us on the track. Then we have a lot of photography friends, as we said before, Gasoline in first, it's also one of our members. If I have to think about another one, I would say Cocas. Cocas Peak is another guy. Is another good guy. We like to share a lot of things, messages. The best part is to have a lot of real life photographers inside the group, because sometimes they give us a lot of inspiration, starting from the liveries and also from the way to shoot. Because maybe you can have one car, but we shoot in 4 different ways. Exactly. We can shoot the same car in a lot of different ways with their tips.
Yeah, and you mentioned wanting to bring real life into Forza as well, so it's really cool being able to, have those real life photographers and the Forza photographers and have that crossover there. Well, shall we talk about events you've got coming up soon? Do you have anything planned, or even any plans for the new Motorsport game coming out?
We can wait for the new chapter of Forza Motorsport, but in September we will have a single night event with the touring cars. I think we choose the best of touring cars from 80s and 90s, so we put them together. And so let's see what happens.
We will do a mix, I think, with DTM, maybe some Group 5.
It's a classic.
We will see. Everything classic again. We are also super excited from what we saw from the first trailer of the new Motorsport. We are super happy to see the GT1 back, the Bentley Speed 8, to see Kai Alami into the new track, the new track list. So we have something in our mind. So from the trailer, we are super positive about the new game, I think. We can't wait.
Definitely. Not long to go now. Well, all the links to get involved with the Rusty Garage Racing crew are in chat. But GCode and DipHop, before you go, do you have anyone that you would like to give a shout out to? Take it away. The camera's yours.
For sure. I want to say hi to all the Rusty members that are with us from years, from Ita, Mac, Bozo, Plush, Mr. President, obviously. And I also want to shout out some of the guys outside from Italy that are always with us. I want to say hello to FMA Tuner, Legit Gamer, Flackbus, all the UK guys. I want to say thanks everybody for helping us growing up our community. They always believe in us, and we are really happy for that. I think they help us a lot to make everything always better. We can wait, obviously, to share more events on the new game, for sure.
Absolutely. And I look forward to seeing and hopefully hearing about them on a future Forza Monthly. But thank you, both of you, for joining us today. Best of luck in the future. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to you.
That might have been our first Community Spotlight duo, and it's a good thing we had some extra community representation today, because unfortunately, the man who never stops smiling, our friend Ali Tak himself, couldn't join us today. But fear not, because he did make sure to let me know what's going on around the community. First, a big congratulations to all the runners in the recent Tora 24 Heures de Mulsanne on Forza Motorsport 7, and of course to ESV Flopper, Lightspeed Esports, and ESV Motorsport GT for taking the class wins. Putting on a 24-hour event is a huge effort, so tip of the cap goes to all the brilliant mods, admins, and stewards at Tora. Amazing, thank you. The judging phase is just beginning for the Forza Creators Guild Barbie Beach-tastic Adventure EventLab competition. That is a mouthful. With some awesome prizes up for grabs, it has been great seeing designers from all around the Forza Horizon 5 community putting together events that tell a fun Barbie story. And word on the street is there will be a little bit more to hear about this next month. Finally, we can check out a few upcoming events to look for on the community events calendar. This Wednesday, you can check out the EMC Totally Radical Spec Series in, you guessed it, Radicals. On the 19th, PTG have round 3 of the awesome DTCC, and that's at Hockenheim. And a shout out to Neon Blue Racing, who are starting up their Race for ALS charity series with a qualification day on Sunday the 20th. And that is everything from the community events for this month, which also means that our show is wrapped up for this month as well. Huge thanks to Chris, Giuseppe, and Playground Games, GCode and DipHop, the spirit of AliTac, and all of you for joining and tuning in today. We'll see you next month. Goodbye.